They're boring f***ers over there, so no one wants to hear them.
We have department analytics.
Don't listen to these
guys.
We don't care about no body shots. We're gonna knock him out on the 19th. Just put all the controversy and all of that nonsense to rest and show that I'm a man of the future.
Daniel Dubois is gearing up for the most significant fight of his career, a rematch against the undefeated heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Usyk. After their controversial first bout, where Dubois was stopped in the 9th round, debate has raged around whether a body shot he landed earlier in the fight should have been ruled a low blow. This controversy has reignited public interest and sparked intense opinions from former fighters, trainers, and boxing insiders. One of the most outspoken voices has been former cruiserweight world champion.
Daniel Dubois fought him once, and we've seen how that fight went.
Yeah.
Everyone goes on about a shot. Let's just be brutally honest, it hit the protector. Why is it called the protector? Because it protects you from certain shots.
Really
I mean,
high.
I was going to ask what's the neck on them shorts, but
sure.
it was nuts. But no one said anything.
No.
But then ultimately, when Oleksandr Usyk fights Daniel Dubois, and his shorts are on his navel, and you can clearly see his belly button at times in the fight, no one said, all of a sudden his shorts are high. So it's whatever suits people's narrative and agendas at the time. For people who are Fury fans, they want to say Usyk's done this or he's robbed that. For people who are Dubois fans, just look at the cold, hard facts. He hits him on the protector. The protector's called the protector for a reason. And then ultimately, look at how the fight ended up. I mean, he had enough.
On his knees, wasn't he? By the end, on one knee.
Champion Tony Bellew. Bellew dismissed the ongoing calls for a rematch based on controversy, stating flatly that Dubois wasn't robbed. He was beaten clearly. Bellew emphasized that the punch in question landed on Usyk's protective gear, not below the belt. For Bellew, there's no ambiguity about the outcome. He reminded fans that the fight ended with Dubois on his knees, not protesting, but defeated, a moment that underscored Usyk's dominance and ring control. Eddie Hearn, one of the sport's most influential promoters, offered a slightly different take. Surprisingly, Hearn isn't ruling Dubois out.
I said it to Oleksandr Usyk, and there's no favoritism here. I think it's Daniel Dubois' time. I think he's a ferocious beast. Yeah, absolutely. and I think he deserves all the plaudits. I think what walked into Wembley Stadium was an absolute gladiator, and I'm thrilled for him that he's coming out of himself, growing as a man.
Speaking in a recent interview, Hearn said, "I think I give Dubois a shot in that fight. It's a good time. I mean, a little bit of inactivity because of the fight falling through against Joseph Parker, but you know, it's exciting. Definitely a fight he could win."
Becoming more worldly and able to communicate with the media, and I think it's going to be a fabulous fight.
Do you believe that he can get it done inside the distance?
I think he has to get done inside the distance.
Yeah. You don't think he can win on points?
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely. But whatever, July 19th, brilliant.
Hearn also noted something few have picked up on. During the recent face-off, Usyk appeared more emotional than usual. Hearn believes Dubois may have gotten under the Ukrainian's skin, something very few opponents have been able to do. This, he argues, could be a mental edge Dubois carries into the ring. Broadcaster Simon Jordan offered a more philosophical view of the rematch, placing less emphasis on technical.
It's a good fighter. It's a boxer. Listen, I respect all who boxing in gym because I know it's very hard. I respect all my opponent. Daniel too.
Including him. Yeah.
Breakdowns, and more on Dubois' personal growth. According to Jordan, the Dubois preparing for Usyk this time is not the same man who folded under pressure in their first fight. Jordan praised Dubois' mental transformation, highlighting his maturity, toughness, and emotional development as key factors. However, he didn't sugarcoat the challenge ahead. In Jordan's view, Dubois' only real...
Jesus.
Don't worry. Take it easy, buddy.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, man.
Okay. I wait you.
Yeah.
Скажи.
Realistic path to victory is by knockout. Anything short of that, and Usyk, who he called a master technician, will likely outbox him and win on the scorecards. While Dubois and his camp have attempted to rattle Usyk with psychological tactics, call-outs, and high-intensity face-offs, the
Daniel! Where are you? Daniel!
Ukrainian champion has remained unshaken. Usyk, ever the calm and composed figure, responded to Dubois' fiery trash talk with humor and poise. In their recent face-to-face interview, Dubois tried to bring some last-minute intensity, warning Usyk, "I'm coming for you, man." Usyk didn't flinch. His reply, "Just
AJ's not the fighter he was. This is a guy who's not on the way down. This is going to be a real test for Mr. Usyk. A big test for him, and we'll see. And I genuinely believe that my man will win. I genuinely believe that."
Jesus, don't worry. Take it easy, buddy. I await you. That icy calmness didn't just diffuse the tension, it stole the moment. In a sport where intimidation often plays a major role, Usyk's ability to remain serene speaks volumes. It wasn't just awkward, it was psychological warfare, and Usyk owned the silence. Usyk's body language and demeanor suggest a man completely confident in the outcome. While many fighters use
revenge.
I think you'd be stupid to not say repeat, because Oleksandr Usyk is the #1 heavyweight of our generation. But if there's any one heavyweight out there right now that can give Usyk trouble or possibly beat him, it is Daniel Dubois. But I go with Usyk because you would be stupid not to. The guy's a genius at what he does in the ring.
Public appearances to hype themselves up, Usyk has been casually strolling around Wembley Stadium, smiling, laughing, and even joking that he was looking for Dubois. No stress, no panic. Just quiet confidence.
I do agree with you. I think that it's hard to pick against Usyk, but I truly believe that for 5 rounds, and I think he should try and detonate, for 5 rounds, Dynamite Dubois, Triple D, will be very, very dangerous.
He's the most dangerous heavyweight in the division that can give him a problem right now.
For those familiar with the fight game, that kind of composure isn't just impressive, it's dangerous. When a fighter this calm walks into a championship fight, it usually means he already knows how the story ends. Veteran promoter Frank Warren remains one of Dubois' loudest backers. Warren is firmly convinced that Dubois has what it takes to beat Usyk and isn't afraid to say so. In fact, he even took the opportunity to throw shade at Anthony Joshua, suggesting that
I'm undisputed from Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk.
Dubois, not Joshua, is the man who truly represents a threat to Usyk's reign. According to Warren, Usyk's real test lies ahead, and it's Daniel Dubois who's going to rise to the occasion. For Warren, this isn't just a promotional angle. It's a bold prediction of an upset in the making. Boxing analyst and former fighter Spencer Oliver also weighed in with a balanced yet bold perspective. While Oliver praised Usyk's brilliance and high boxing IQ,
I'm going to put him to sleep properly this time. I want to nail him to the canvas.
So categorically, Oleksandr Usyk, who's a great fighter, cannot take this version of Daniel Dubois' speed and power.
No way. No way. This time it's going to be proper war. Give you guys a bloodbath and, just tear him up, put him to sleep.
Do you think this is the end of his career?
It will be. I'll make sure it is. I want to see England stop for that day and, lifting the crown and lifting all the belts up. I want to see the whole world stop. This would be the biggest fight in the world and I want all eyes on it. So, yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be historic and powerful and massive.
He acknowledged Dubois' power as the true wild card in the equation. Dubois is dangerous, especially early, Oliver said. He pointed out that while Usyk is the smarter, more experienced fighter, Dubois' punching power could change everything, particularly in the first few rounds. Still, Oliver ultimately leaned toward Usyk, citing his elite skill set and experience as decisive factors. There's a growing recognition that Dubois, for all the criticisms he's faced, brings real danger into the ring, especially with his raw power and improved mental state. Whether that will...
It wasn't just a fight, it was a lot more than just a fight. It was a lot more. But I've rebuilt from it. I was in a dark place and I came out of it, and that's the main thing. I come out of it, and I can't wait for this one. It's going to be a bloodbath and
be enough to overcome the tactical brilliance and big fight experience of Usyk remains to be seen. The Ukrainian champion has proven time and again that he's not just one of the most talented heavyweights on the planet. He's also one of the most composed, charismatic, and mentally resilient.
Potentially on your side.
It doesn't matter if they're cheering him on or
doesn't bother you.
Don't matter. I love the sport and fighting to win.
Brilliant. As fight night draws near, one thing is certain: the rematch between Daniel Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk is more than just a boxing match. It's a test of evolution, both mental and physical for Dubois, and a continuation of dominance for Usyk. Whether it ends in a stunning upset or another clinical performance by the champion, fans are in for a heavyweight clash that promises drama, intensity, and no shortage of fireworks. With just one sentence and a smile.
Yes, young man. I say, when I win, you present me Bentley.
Yeah, and when Daniel wins, what are you going to give me?
I don't have Bentley.
What cars are
Ukrainian business. I don't have Bentley. You have, I don't have.
All
right. Okay.
Oleksandr Usyk reminded the world why he's still the king of the heavyweight division. Calm, composed, and still undefeated, Usyk's energy speaks louder than any trash talk. He doesn't need wild predictions or fiery threats. His confidence is quiet, his gaze focused. For Usyk, the crown is still his, until someone proves otherwise in the ring. But across the ring, Daniel Dubois has taken a very different route. After months of being written off and labeled the underdog, Dubois has returned with venom in his voice and destruction on his mind. Gone are the days.
I think Daniel Dubois, he's on a roll. He's coming off of a massive win against AJ. Usyk's also on a massive roll. So I think that fight's going to come down to mindset.
Days of polite sound bites and hopeful optimism. Ahead of a potential rematch with Usyk, Dubois has gone full savage. This time, he isn't just promising a better version of himself, he's promising total annihilation. Dubois has turned the narrative into something far more personal. He's no longer just chasing a world title, he's chasing legacy. From boldly claiming he'll end Usyk's career to demanding the world pay attention to his rebirth, Dubois is making a violent declaration. He's not just here to compete, he's here to conquer. Whether this new fire is delusional or the mindset of a man willing to risk everything remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. If Usyk wasn't already locked in for war, Dubois' verbal assault might be all the fuel he needs to stay razor sharp. That first fight between Usyk and Dubois, though ultimately ending in Usyk's favor, left a trail of controversy. Midway through the bout, Dubois landed a thudding body shot that sent Usyk crumpling to the canvas. For a brief moment, it looked like Dubois had pulled off the unthinkable, but the referee ruled it a low blow, not direct.
But this is the rematch, and Dubois is a different animal. He's a better fighter now. He's had some great wins against Gerald Miller, Hrgovic. He absolutely splattered Anthony Joshua. We've seen that fight, and he's now full of confidence. He's on the crest of a wave, and he's a guy now getting into the ring really, really solidly, believing in himself.
In the groin, but low enough to be deemed illegal. Usyk was given nearly 5 minutes to recover, and when he returned, he made the most of the opportunity. By the 9th round, he stopped Dubois with a clinical right hand, retaining his titles and silencing the doubters, at least temporarily. Promoter Frank Warren erupted over the ruling, calling for justice and an immediate rematch. That single moment, controversial and decisive, lingers in the minds of fans and fighters alike. And it's precisely why this rematch feels unfinished. For Dubois,
this is a chance to make history. 3-time undisputed. Do you remind anyone?
There's no one.
Neither do I.
Not from cruiserweight up to heavyweight.
Exactly. So this is a history in the making. So the guy is delivering something that we never seen before. And Daniel Dubois is lucky. He's getting his second chance.
Dubois, it's not about revenge anymore. It's about rewriting the ending that slipped through his fingers. Since that night, Dubois has transformed. He's rebuilt himself mentally, emotionally.
I remember him after the final, when he was knocked out by Usyk, and he was thinking to retire. He was standing in the corner and thinking like, I'm gonna stop boxing. And Usyk came up to him and said, no man, you are too young, you have great future. And what we see now, the guy is the IBF champion. Wow. Dubois is not the young kid, the prospect anymore. He is the mature man with big muscles and with sufficient knowledge and experience that he received with his recent fights. And you know what? This guy is dangerous. Yeah. This guy is really dangerous, and the one who underestimates him does terribly wrong.
And physically. No longer the hesitant young fighter who once folded under the bright lights, he's now speaking with the intensity of a man who feels destined to flip the script. According to those closest to him, Dubois' focus heading into Wembley Stadium isn't on the spotlight or the 90,000 fans, it's on war. This time, Dubois isn't asking for validation or applause. He's demanding carnage.
I think it's going to be good. I think I've got a few thoughts on it, but I feel like I don't want to talk on it too much because it's not my fight. It's their fight. I don't want to promote their fight. I don't want to talk about it. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to talk about it.
You actually not?
No.
He's promoting their
Yeah, I'm not here to... So what are you asking me for? You're not asking me... Turn the camera off and ask me about it. You're asking me in front of a bright light to put it out in front of the media to promote your channel and their fight. I'm not doing it. It's not my interest. You know, I'm not in the game. It's not my business. But good, as I said, it'll be a good fight and good luck to both of them.
Being questioned, doubted, and mocked, Dubois now views this rematch as his resurrection. In his mind, the only way out is through Usyk, and he's promising one of the most brutal heavyweight showdowns in recent memory. Amid the fire and tension, however, Usyk remains unfazed. Backstage during Media Week, a rare moment of levity broke through the serious buildup. With cameras flashing and interviews flying, Usyk reminded everyone that behind the ice-cold stare is a showman with razor-sharp wit. In a light-hearted exchange, Usyk had everyone around him laughing, a brief but telling reminder of his unique charm. Even Frank Warren cracked a smile. It was a moment where personalities shone through, and Usyk once again proved why he's not just a champion inside the ropes, he's a star outside them. Still, once the bell rings, there's no joking around. Usyk's promoter, Alex Krasyuk, knows what's at stake. This rematch isn't just another title defense for Usyk. It's about legacy, about carving out a place in history no modern fighter has reached. Yet even Krasyuk admitted he's been surprised by Dubois' transformation. The once green contender has become a serious threat, and the Usyk camp is treating him accordingly. Chris Eubank Jr. also offered a unique perspective, shifting the conversation away from skill and tactics and onto something less tangible but just as vital: mental strength. In Eubank's view, this fight won't be decided purely by technique, but by whoever stays mentally locked in when it matters most. With both fighters riding high on career-defining momentum, that edge may come down to a split-second decision or a moment of hesitation. In a sport where everything can change in one exchange, Eubank's take cuts to the heart of the matter. Who will break first? Former super middleweight world champion Carl Frosch echoed that sentiment, while making it clear that this isn't the same Daniel Dubois who lost to Usyk the first time. Frosch, never one to mince words, believes the new Dubois is a completely different beast. No longer mentally fragile, Dubois has strung together impressive victories and silenced many of his critics, including a career-defining demolition of Anthony Joshua at Wembley. Froch sees Dubois not as a lucky puncher, but as a fighter ready to go to war with the division's elite. Still, he acknowledges the elephant in the room. Confidence is one thing, but beating a master tactician like Usyk is another entirely. Even Anthony Joshua, who has shared the ring with both men, refused to get involved when asked for a prediction. In a surprising move, AJ shut down the conversation entirely, refusing to pick a side or even acknowledge the matchup's implications. Whether that silence reflects bitterness, detachment, or calculation, fans took note, especially those who feel Joshua should have plenty to say after being knocked out by Dubois and outboxed twice by Usyk. In this sea of hot takes and high-stakes narratives, one truth remains. This rematch is no longer just about titles. It's about legacy, redemption, and proving who truly rules the heavyweight division. Usyk enters the ring as the calm technician, the undefeated mastermind who's been through the fire and always found a way to win. He has everything to lose. Dubois, on the other hand, is the reborn destroyer, hungry for validation and with nothing left to fear. He's fought through doubt, humiliation, and heartbreak, and now he believes the time for redemption is now. Wembley Stadium will be the stage. The undisputed heavyweight crown will be the prize, and the stakes couldn't be higher. One mistake, one punch, that's all it will take. Will it be Usyk's genius or Dubois' raw power that wins the night? Will we witness the rise of a new king or the final emphatic chapter in Usyk's heavyweight legacy? Drop your prediction in the comments below. The war is coming.